We have time for just one more question, which I'm going to draw from the audience. And we had over 100 questions, and I'm really grateful to everyone who took the time and energy to submit those, and we'll make an effort to respond to them on our Facebook page in various ways over the next couple of days. We really appreciate your involvement and engagement with this. But this is one that was asked in many different ways. This is Alexander from Democrats Abroad China. How do you keep the faith and keep hope alive in the face of such overwhelming odds? Justin, you look like you might.
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind, there is a database, just if you Google Swarthmore nonviolent database, there's a database of pretty much every single campaign, movement, nonviolent action that's existed over the past 100 or so years. And, you know, there's a co-founder of Sunrise who is based in Michigan, who I was asking basically, how did Sunrise happen? You know, how is climate now this big issue? And one of the things that they told me is that Sunrise spent a couple of years researching and going through that database of nonviolent actions and campaigns and movements. Mm-hmm. And my takeaway from that is that, you know, there are a lot of historic examples of when things have looked too tough, when odds have been at, you know, as high as they ever have been. That's the feeling that we have now. And I think that looking back through history, looking at other examples of when people have been able to create movements, create moments to create change, I think gives me hope. I also just think that going through that database has revealed to me that things aren't as mysterious as they may seem. It takes dedication, it takes discipline, it takes focus, it takes infrastructure, it takes money, it takes people. There are ingredients that every movement needs to create change. And I think that if we just remain focused, remain diligent, look for those opportunities to create change at a local level and at a national level, look throughout history, I think if we do those things, we'll be successful. And I think that we can do it in a way that doesn't that's fun and that keeps the faith as well. So I think just looking through history and is something that I do.
Thank you, Justin. That was interesting about the database too. Charlie, Bill, do you have any final words of wisdom or hope, or any final calls to action anyone wants to quickly share?
Well, I think Justin's right. When we fight, we win more times than we anticipate. And so we should fight as often as we can. And I would also just add, you know what? Don't worry that much about hope. Don't worry that much about whether exactly we're going to win or not. The important thing is to be deep in this fight. This is obviously the fight of our time for human beings on this planet. And there are hundreds of millions of human beings now engaged in this fight. And a lot of them came from places that didn't pour a lot of carbon into the atmosphere and didn't heat up the earth. And if they can do it, the rest of us can stay fully engaged in this right from the get-go. And if there's days when you're feeling like, well, there's not much hope and I'm sort of down or whatever about it, just go with that and think, you know what, even if we're not going to win, at least we can cause a lot of trouble for the bad guys at Exxon and Chevron and whatever else. And some days that's enough to just get you through, in my experience.
They certainly deserve that trouble. Charlie, did you have some words?
I think for me, the words that keep me going these days are determination and resilience. You know, you're not seeing me in my laying in bed, curled up in a ball state. That happens too. But, you know, when I think about what it's going to take, I think that, you know, we are living in the end of 50 years of Reagan's America. We are living in the end of 150 years of the fossil fuel economy. These are blips on the scale of, you know, time and history and what, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. called the arc towards justice, right? So things can change, things have changed, things will change, and they're not going to change if we sit back and watch it happen, but they're going to change if we can all rise up, millions of us together fighting our way. So I'll just close with, again, you know, for us, right, Greenpeace, where we rely on people, we rely on money from people too. We do have some, you know, I think we built a good way to get money for organized money. But to join us, you can text Climate 2020 to 877-877, and we can also go to votefortheclimate.com to sign up online to join us in our work.